Hey, what is up guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at one of Miracle's SVEN gameplays where he absolutely pops off. I specifically want to look at the fact that he's against a lot of SVEN counters. Like, this is one of those games where your average carry player is just going to lose. In fact, his team was losing. They were having a very hard time. They were 2k net worth behind. He had to jungle very early on. But yeah, that's why he wins. He knows when he needs to pull, when he needs to jungle, who he can jump, when he needs to jump, and these are the questions you need to understand and be able to answer immediately in your games to be able to win. So let's answer those questions in today's video, and yeah, smash the like button and subscribe, and of course, I'll see you in the video. Also, I have a quick question, guys. Did you know that gameleap is currently running a 50% off sale? What? Well, I know I caught you off guard there, but it's very important you go sign up right now. It's for a limited time. And a lot of you guys, I know, okay? You're watching my videos, but you're still stuck in your bracket. You can't get out. If you want to get out, click the link down below, sign up, and you can get a really good deal by using the code BLACK50 when you're signing up. So go click it now, and let's get into the video. Alright, so the first question I want to ask all of you guys, and this is the most important question I can ask you in the entire video. If you can get this right, you're already off to a much better start than most people. In losing lanes, what is the most important thing you should be doing? Okay, ready? What is the most important thing you should be doing in losing lanes? Ready? 3, 2, 1. The answer is pulling. Okay, now a lot of you might have gotten it, and I think a lot of you might have overthought the answer and tried to come up with something crazy, right? No, it's that simple. And what you're going to see from Miracle this game is a major focus on that. And a lot of carry players, they don't have the awareness to do this. For all you support players watching, you get this. You get that your carry players just don't understand the importance of pulling. They don't get it. They don't understand it, that sometimes you can't help them. I mean, for instance, how is an Omni Knight gonna zone a Slaughter Arena lane? He can't. That's the answer. So what does Miracle need to do? He needs to literally spend time in this lane making sure that KuroKy can pull. He has to, and we're gonna see that. I guarantee them almost no one would do that. I mean it. I really mean it. Most carry players would not have the awareness to help their support pull when they need it. You can literally see right here. See Miracle's positioning? Why? Why? It's because he wants to make sure, number one, that the Lina can't block the small camp, and he's going to be blocking the large camp. You can see at the last second here, he walks in and blocks it. KuroKy is securing the small, Miracle is securing the large, and now they can pull. They have the pull advantage. How crazy is that? Think about this. This is such a simple concept, and yet it's game-changing. Completely game-changing. Blocking the hard camp. Is my lane hot trash? Am I laning against probably the hardest lane dominators in Dota? Like, think, guys, if you don't know, Slaughter and Lina are literally the hardest lane dominators, and look at their items. I mean, they are literally playing to just smack him up. This guy doesn't even have a quelling. He's just trying to bully the SVEN, and he has a null, so he has a bunch of mana regen. That's their game plan, right? They're just gonna hit the SVEN, and so he plays the pull game. Hope that makes sense, guys. I mean, like, I know it sounds, and some people will just disregard what I just said. They'll just be like, eh, you know, I can't do that on my games because blah, blah, blah. You know, but if you take that to heart, like what I just showed you, I mean, it's gonna help you so much. Now, because Miracle didn't shove the wave, he actually ends up getting a couple waves under tower, which is really good for his game. He's actually gonna be able to get quite a few CS against the hardest lane in Dota, so, you know, this is quite big for him. Just solid, you know, nothing crazy. Also, he has a lot of tangos, which I think is cool. You know, a lot of players are only buying 3 tangos right now, but he kind of just identifies that this lane is really bad, and so yeah, he goes that route. After that, you're gonna take Warcry, obviously. I mean, I feel like this is not too complex. Nah, he takes Warcry because you need the movement speed to get away from Slaughter, and you need the armor against Slaughter Lina. And finally, before we move on to the mid game, because I know that's what you all are here for, this, like, even though this is, like, in my opinion, this is by far more important. This is the stuff that people just don't do. It's the reason why, like, most players, they're just like a 3k laner at best. I've played with 5 or 6k more players that are just, like, decent at laning, right? Like, they're decent. They're not bad. They're better at list hitting. They cast their spells more. They buy the right items. Like, they do all the little things right, so that's why they're just better. You know, they're just overall better, but they don't do things like this, which is just game-changing. Like, right here, look at this play. Think about it. How many people make this play? I mean, how many people actually would even consider making this play? He's level 3, 3 minutes into the game, he sees Selena running. Why is Selena doing it? She's going to contest the Omni Knight pull. It's as simple as that, right? She's contesting the Omni Knight pull. So KuroKy gets the pull off, as he should be doing. and Miracle comes over. He just wants to make sure that Lina can't contest the pull, right? So he wants the wave to come back. Now, he's going to zone out the Lina, right? He's pretty strong. Zones out the Lina. Then he's going to do another pull for himself. This is a pull you can do on the dire side of the map. You pull it, you go straight up, and you connect the camp, right? Let's just quickly check so you guys understand. I want to make sure you know how to do this. You hit the camp when it's right about here, right? When it's in conjunction, or just about in conjunction with your outpost, you pull it up, right? So you hit it up, you make sure the creeps hit you, obviously right here, and then, yeah, you get a nice little pull off. All of a sudden, he can get more CS. And you can see, guys, is he 20-0 in CS right now? No, he has the CS that a Herald would typically have. And you might be saying, oh, Speed Miracle, he's so bad. This is why, Nigma can't win, blah, blah, blah. No, they literally picked to counter him. They drafted 2 heroes to just win the lane. It's insane that they are even not dead. Like, I mean that. It's crazy that they're actually just not dead. And after all is said and done, Miracle leaves the lane at around minute 6. So he gets a wave under tower here. He's going to try to shove this one in to the best of his ability. But now Slaughter is getting to the point of no return. He's about to have, his treads. He's getting very strong, and he can nearly bully Miracle out of lane alone. You can see Miracle is starting to feel that pressure. Obviously, he just does not want to be here anymore, and so he's going to shove this wave and get out. And it's really important to understand when to do this. Obviously here, the wave is so close to his tower, he creep aggroes it under his tower to stay safe, does it again, secure that CS, stuns the range creep, and he says, adios, Slaughter! I'm gone! I'm out! I'm not coming back! And rightfully so. Most players do not have the awareness to do this. They have the knowledge. They've watched so many of my videos. They're like, Speed, I get it, I need to leave the lane. But why do people still always die? If you can jungle and the guy feels like he can pressure you, just leave. It's that simple, and yet no one does it. Everyone has the knowledge, but everyone is so greedy, and they die, and then they're like, oh wow, my games are so darn tough. They're so tough. I can't do anything. My supports are useless. Blah, 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 blah. Why don't I get a gank? Blah, blah, blah. But it's not that. You just need to leave. And then he gets an Iron Talon, and when you get an Iron Talon, it's GG. He unfortunately does get ganked, but honestly, you won't get ganked like this, like he's about to get ganked in your pubs. It's just not gonna happen, but, it's a pro game. Iceberg reads his movement even without a ward, and yeah, he picks up a kill. But, that's much better. In his current 50 CS at minute 8, I guarantee if you put any 3K player in this match, they would currently be 0-5. I mean that. Think about it. That's why the laning stage is important. Because it's really easy to watch a pro and be like, he's not doing anything special. It's all the small things, and I can't stress that enough. Now moving on into the mid game, nothing crazy here. He pops God Strength, hits the triangle. If you can't do this, well, I don't know what to tell you. Once it's like minute 9, minute 10, pop God Strength and hit some triangle. Then after you hit the triangle and it's respawning, hit these neutrals, or hit the mid lane. In this case, the mid lane's dangerous and his gyrocopter needs to farm, so he's gonna sacrifice a little bit of farm, right? Not too much, you can see. Shifts towards this Magnus here. Lucky for him, he has a Magnus, and he's back to the triangle. Wow, very complex farming patterns. Extremely hard to learn. Not. The next item he buys is a Blink Dagger. You heard that correctly, a Blink Dagger. And and guys, you know me, okay? You know me. I am not the type of person in these type of videos to tell you that an item is like a large reason why they won the game. Usually, in my opinion, most players just grief themselves by switching their item builds from the cookie cutter. The cookie cutter this game for SVEN, or most games for SVEN, is Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, into BKB into Ags, right? That's the cookie cutter. But he goes Echo Saber Blink. Let's talk about this. Why does he do this? Why would he go such a weird build? Well, let's look at his team. Why do you buy a Blink? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. Why does he buy a Blink? To initiate. Why does he need to initiate? You should ask yourself, well, he has a Magnus. But the problem is, Magnus is not a hard initiator. So in Dota, there's 2 types of initiators. There's hard initiators and soft initiators. Hard initiators are heroes that do not care if they die. They typically are single target stunners, and they don't really, they just don't care. They just go on the first person they see. They're pretty tanky, and they just want to go in, right? They want to start the fight. Magnus is not that, especially a Magnus with Mana Boots and Blink. He's not a frontliner. If he had Greaves and a Crimson Guard, yep, the story's quite different. He actually could be the frontliner. He could initiate, but he's not going to do that with this build. He's clearly playing the backline and wants the SVEN to go in first. So what do you need on SVEN to go in first? a Blink Dagger. It makes sense, right? He needs to go in first so that the enemy team has to save who the SVEN goes on, and when they try to save who the SVEN goes on, Mind Control can get an RP, right? Makes sense. And yeah, his team also just lacks stuns. They just literally don't have many stuns, and so him being able to blink on someone is extremely useful. We can see that here. He goes in, gets the blink, and yeah, picks up a nice little double kill. Wouldn't have happened without the Blink Dagger, because they wouldn't have had a stun. And yeah, he even finds Roger here. Can't believe Roger died to that, to be honest. And upcoming here, we're going to see an acceptable dive, and let's talk about why this is okay. You guys know I say never dive, never dive, never dive. Don't dive towers, don't dive towers, don't dive towers. When is it okay to dive a tower? Because obviously when I say things, they're typically rules of thumbs. They're not guarantees. Dota's a weird game. Here, why is this a good dive? They see the PA top, they know PA's not here, they're catching them off guard. If they're not catching them off guard, and they were walking through the creep wave up to the mid-tier 1 tower, this would be a bad play, because the enemy team would be ready and in position. But they are catching them off guard, this is based off of a smoke gank, and he has a Blink Dagger. Also, PA's not here. And so, you know, this is a good play. It's a good jump. That's the difference. People don't understand the difference between that play and their, like, typical pub walk-up. They'll watch this and they'll say, Speed, you're so stupid. I watch Nigma walk and dive the mid-tier 1 tower. It's completely different. On top of that, we're going to see another dive here, and I would like to say, as a carry player, you're almost never going to want to make a play like this. You're just going to get your team killed. But as we talked about earlier, he is the stunner. So he just goes in here, blinks on this guy. The Lina obviously is going to try to walk over and save him. Let's watch it from the Lina's perspective, right? Lina's like, oh shoot, my Death Prophet's getting jumped, right? SVEN jumps in. She was probably so confused because she saw the SVEN TPing out. Great play by Miracle. And what is she going to do? Obviously try to stun the SVEN. So she turned around. Mind Control is not the center of attention, and so he gets to blink in and do his thing. Right? Belina is not looking at the Magnus, because why is she not looking at the Magnus? Because she's looking at the SVEN. Of course she's looking at the SVEN. Who wouldn't look at the SVEN? And so yeah, he gets a really free 2-man RP. Beautiful. And they get the kill. They force a 10-second BKB from the PA. And yeah, such a great fight. Okay, next up is my favorite play of the entire game. I mean it. So right here, he has God Strength active. It's currently bugged, so you don't see it. But let's talk about it. They just went in, they failed the gank, Na'Vi ran away, they're holding a hill because they have a ward. Now, what is the next play they're going to make? God Strength is about to end. I can't show it to you, but it's ending in like 5 to 10 seconds. What are they going to do? Are they going to farm? Are they going to sit in their base? Are they going to go smoke gank, try to catch the enemy team off guard? Well, let's see. He blinks into his base. All the way into his base. What would most people do? Well, they'd be like, the enemy team's, they're not gonna run into our triangle. Come on, no one does that. Well, pro teams do that. Good players do that. Good players call smokes when they know they have a spell advantage. What's the spell advantage? God Strength is down. There is a 0% chance Nigma wins a fight unless they hit a 5-man RP with God Strength down. Period. And therefore, with God Strength, they are literally reading for Na'Vi to make a smoke play. And what do you know? Na'Vi made a smoke play. So this is a great read to make if you get higher and higher MMR. If you waste a spell like God Strength, you need to run away. Now let's think about it. How do you apply that to your pubs? Because you're like, come on, I can't get my team to do that. They're not going to do that. Well, you want to look at it from Na'Vi's perspective. Na'Vi, if you make the call that Na'Vi just made in your pubs, you will win so many games. Think about that. How many times do players say, God Strength is down, let's go fight them? Yep, there's players that say Ravage is down and Chrono's down, but things like God Strength, I feel like they're less known. They're less, people just care less about them for some reason. Even though they're just as important as spells like Chrono and Ravage. Alright, in this upcoming fight, we're going to see Miracle buyback, and this is where the game's going to end, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe. But also, yeah, let's take a quick look at this fight. So, how do you know when to buyback? So he ends up getting crushed here. Really nice setup by the Slaughter and by the PA. It was a great play. They also even got the DP silence onto the Omni Knight to prevent the save, so great play by Na'Vi. Perfect jump, perfect, blinking. Now, why does he buyback? Well, I think it's for the simple reason that they're committing very hard, right? Na'Vi has committed a lot of resources and they've engaged very deep, and so with this egg coming out, he knows they're going to commit. They're not going to run away from the egg. They're slowed, right? The cooldown's going to come out. They're going to get stuck here, and they know this. So he's 100% sure they're going to commit to this fight. He TPs on the Shrine. Once again, a really nice RP by Mind Control. His RPs were fantastic this game, and yeah, they kind of just get wiped. And I know it's like, oh, Speed, he didn't do anything in this fight. Why are you showing us this? I think it's important to just understand when you should be buybacking. It's late into the game here. He knows that the Phantom Assassin doesn't have buyback, right? So Phantom Assassin doesn't have buyback. And therefore, if he gets these kills, they just win. And yeah, that's like the big thing there. It's also a really important point to note that the enemy team was committing. If he insta-buys back, they actually might run away. And so he waited a little bit. He waited like 3 seconds longer than most people would, right? Just to make sure that the enemy team would. He makes very, very sure that they're going to commit. Egg comes out, they dive pretty hard, he buys back, and now they're going to hit the throne. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I thought this was a really good game in terms of decision making for Miracle. Obviously, he has to 1v5 this game. I mean, you might be saying, oh, but his teammates are so farm. Yeah, I mean, they caught up eventually when they started winning fights, but in the early game, they were getting clapped. His gyro got worked in the mid lane. Sorry, Weehaw, you know, all respect to Weehaw, but all right, guys, smash the like button and subscribe. Remember, Black 50 to get a 50% off your Game Leap sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.